Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Minneapolis High School class of 2021, I would like to welcome everyone and thank you for joining us on this day to celebrate our graduates as we wish them the very best as they embark on their future endeavors. At this time, I have the pleasure to introduce Brayden Jackson, Senior Vice President, with the class of 2021 Legacy Recognition.
This year, we asked our seniors to supply us with names of parents and grandparents who also graduated from Minneapolis, Ada, Delphus, or Wells. Of those responding, several are present today. Would you please stand and be recognized as we call your name? Savannah Alderson, J.P. Alderson, father, class of 1992. Jody Cockrell Mary, grandmother, class of 1978. Gary Mary, grandfather, class of 1975. Marvin Alderson, grandfather, class of 1966. Janessa Allen, the late Scott Allen, father, 1981. Mike Fabricius, stepfather, class of 1979. Keon Backus, Melissa Stanley Backus, mother, class of 1997. Kenny Backus, father, class of 1997. Jim Tasker, grandfather, class of 1979. Martha Baker Tasker, grandmother, class of 1975. Rachel Bradshaw, Stacy Bradshaw, mother, class of 1989. Judy Appler Bradshaw, grandmother, class of 1963. Kennedy Constable, Timberell Lott Noble, mother, class of 1990. Jeanette Bloxton Lott, grandmother, class of 1959. Vicki Wertz Constable, grandmother, class of 1965. Steve Constable, grandfather, class of 1963. Spencer Davidson, Lyle Davidson, father, class of 1989. Tiffany Disney McDonald, Katrina Disney, mother, class of 2002. Abigail Myers, Tim Myers, father, class of 1988. Alberta Hoover Myers, grandmother, class of 1960. Ray Myers, grandfather, class of 1958. John Dean Nelson, Bridget Steinbach Nelson, mother, class of 1990. John Christopher Nelson, father, class of 1995. Betty Ann Schaefer Steinbach, grandmother, class of 1969. Louis Dean Steinbach, grandfather, class of 1967. John Bradley Nelson, grandfather, class of 1973. John Artie Nelson, great-grandfather, class of 1952. Teresa Nadie Pounds, Steinbach, great-grandmother, class of 1947. Chloe Probasco, Judith Clark Ryan, grandmother, class of 1961. Adam Reed, Candy Reed Constable, mother, class of 1998. Nathan Gilbert, father, class of 1997. Eric Constable, stepfather, class of 1991. Roger Reed, grandfather, class of 1967. Susan Cooper Reed, grandmother, class of 1969. Ada Scher, Renee Scher, mother, class of 1988. Timothy Scher, grandfather, class of 1988. Isaac Shipper, Megan N. Johnson Clark, mother, class of 1998. Ted Clark, stepfather, class of 1987. Peyton Smith, Linda Shea Smith, mother, class of 1992. Tanya Riley Shea, grandmother, class of 1960. Ian Snyder, Corey Kaiser, stepfather, 2006. Karen Plunkett Kaiser, step-grandmother, class of 1980. Tim Kaiser, grandfather, class of 1977. Zach Travis, Greg Travis, father, class of 1994. And Contessa Weishaupt, Crystal Ralston Weishaupt, mother, class of 1996. school board and administration, who've been so dedicated to ensuring our safety and involvement within the school, we thank you. To our faculty, who continue to encourage students to strive for success and push students past reservations and pride, and also committing extra time and effort to create relationships with us, which for some will last forever. We thank you.
To our beloved family and friends, who have not only supported us, but also helped to pick us up in difficult times and be our role models throughout our school years. Thank you. And to our maintenance and custodial team, who have worked tirelessly to keep our schools clean and have the strength and courage to keep feces off of the voices bathroom here. And yes, it has happened. We thank you.
Being that today is the due day for responsibilities, we'd like to start with a song about all those lovely things that come with moving away from our families. We are alumni today, and I'm so excited to say that all my problems are gone.
Hey!
What?
Keep your head filled with air. Problems ain't going anywhere. Besides, of course, you're trouble, but all you got is trouble. Housing costs and facilities, auto bills and healthcare needs.
Do I have to pay for air too?
That's the way it seems. All your money down the drain.
I could always go back home again.
Yeah, but then you go home and your bedroom is a gym your parents have used.
You're right. What a life. Responsibilities actually weren't a lie. So could you tell me a little bit more about...
Housing costs, utilities, auto bills and healthcare needs. Honesty and integrity, arriving on time to your meetings.
passing classes, cooking your own food,
It's only one vote for wrong to do.
playing sports, being mature.
Don't go to work with a wrinkled shirt. Ask your boss for a raise.
What? Think I'm like a GoFundMe page?
It's so fresh with the teeth, does it hit you? Oh, and persuading your professor to extend the deadline.
Wearing your underwear inside out and backwards? Well, we made it. After 4 years, we could finally say we graduated. But it wasn't easy. We endured a global pandemic, a prison break, a TikTok takeover, and even Mr. Darrow's smile. It's been nonetheless interesting. And through these unprecedented times, we can truly say we've learned a lot more than our parents did in high school. A one-up I'll use for sure. But I don't mean what Y equals MX plus B is, or that the mitochondria is.
The powerhouse in the cell!
No offense to Mrs. Field and Mrs. Giles. I mean, we learned that life sucks.
We've all endured struggles. And fortunately for us, we didn't have to live without autocraft or enjoy the Y2K scare like our parents did. But in a year when we've had plenty of time for ourselves, we think we may have finally figured out a couple things about the roller coaster called adulthood. At least that's what I thought my parents meant by know-it-all. Anyway, during the pandemic, in case you were a bit focused on the shortage of toilet paper, or if you kept busy doing all the chores at the house, and attitude, and doing everything your parents asked, we created a survival guide detailing things that we learned may be useful in the real world. And no, it's not washing dishes.
The first thing I've learned about life is to be passionate. I grew up from the saying, do what you do well. And the saying does not denote that you have to be good at every single thing you look, do, or mention. It means that whatever you do, you've got to put 100% effort into. We all know what it's like watching somebody do something half-hearted. I mean, would you really like to be the person that says they're going to lose some weight and work out, only to be found the next day with Casey's breakfast pizza grease around their mouth? Passion is something that isn't hard to learn, but is extremely hard to do. It takes that drive when the going gets rough, or the strength, similar to trying to stay awake during every classmate's 15-minute presentation on a foreign government. Passion can make or break you, whether it's the workforce or college. So continue to strive for that larger goal and keep pushing yourself even when you think it's just too hard.
We also learned it's important to be humble. Our generation has grown up during the era of flexing, which by definition means to show something off or flaunt. New iPhone? Gotta have it. Brand new Nike shoes? Pretty sure I need a pair. Fast food lineup? It's not that expensive. Being that we're finally being sent off as adults and the umbrella of our families will be removed, it is important to learn to be a little honest. It's okay to skip out on that outing with friends, or to not buy those clothes that look great on display. If you decide to live at home during college, for instance, I mean, with your parents have a job, it is okay. Being wealthy should not even be a priority right now. We're just 18 years old. Like, what even is it?
With the growing age of technology, we've become a little delicate. I'll be the first to admit that nowadays, I'll do anything to stay inside my own personal bubble. It's become so easy to avoid learning how to conversate or interact with each other because of the innovation of cell phones and social media. Despite what you may think of your parents and how much smarter you are than them, they were right about cell phones. They've become extremely detrimental to not only our generation, but the ones that follow. Think about how many times you were with your peers and there was awkward silence, and you checked your phone just to see the TikTok For You page or send your daily streaks on Snapchat. Remember, it's okay to put yourself in different social situations. Spark conversation. Text that one friend you've been too scared to talk to. Thank your teachers or family who helped push you towards success. Break up with that one girlfriend or boyfriend. Pretty sure we all know it's time.
The last thing that we think is the most important thing we've learned is to be satisfied. But also, don't be content. Enjoy the moment, but staying in it too long won't bring you the same joy, so keep moving. Never be content with your education. Even if you never sit in another class, there is no letter grade, no ribbons or medals that are handed out in life. But what is successful today won't be successful tomorrow.
So, to the class of 2021, we wish you the best. We hope your time at Minneapolis Junior Senior High School was as precious as ours.
And we also hope you got something out of our 7 to 10 minute speech on our survival guide to life that we are for sure qualified to give. Remember to work hard, be humble, get out of your comfort zone, and stay hungry.
Life is hard, but through the relationships and the lessons we've learned, we've got this, which I guess means we really are all in this together.
1981. Ms. Bowers has represented District 36 in the Kansas Senate since 2013. Please join me in welcoming Senator Elaine Haley Bowers.
Good afternoon. I'm just so excited to be here to talk with you all. And you're like saying, someone excited to give a speech, but I truly haven't. But before I start, I want to give a shout out to I have family up here and friends, so classmates, I hope, and some other folks who went to high school with me here in this building. So yes, I did graduate 40 years ago. And you know, as I look back in those newspaper pictures, from 20-year class reunions, 30, 40, I thought they were old people, and until that's if you feel that way now, they're not that old. They're me. So 40 years ago, and so I didn't go far when I graduated from Minneapolis High School, just down the road to Concordia to Cloud County Community College, and then opened our own businesses in 1988. So you would know me as a business owner, and all those years ago, I never thought that I would be standing here speaking to you. So I'm very excited to do this. But first off, I want to let you know, I was afraid to take debates in high school. It scared me to death, and I always hoped we'd have a snow day when it was my turn to give a speech in speech class. But I did manage to go through this. Mrs. Windhorse, who was my speech teacher, was a wonderful lady and one of my biggest fans. And then my college speech teacher is one of my biggest supporters, and she's on the opposite party in Concordia, but she still cheers me on every time I have an opportunity to speak. So just to let you know, I was very shy in high school. I remember speaking to some students who came into the Senate on the floor and asked me if I was shy. I said, absolutely, I was a wallflower. So I've evolved through the years, and my friends and family can probably tell you that. But I do want to share a few lessons I've learned after I've left Minneapolis High School. So maybe a few tips you can take away today in your future. So first of all, I have this really cool job. I work in Topeka 90 days a year. So I'm a state senator, and I was elected in 06. And if you can believe it or not, I'm the last one from the class of 06 left in the building. So turnover is very high. We work 90 days in session, but the other rest of the session we're called citizen legislators. So you can find me in my offices in Concordia. So we live at home, we work at home, and we live with you all. So that's where the citizen legislature has come in and has stuck all through these years. I don't have a political science degree. I don't have a history of journalism degree. I have a business degree and a business owner. So that's my life experiences that I take to Topeka. So I've learned a few things I want to tell you all today. And maybe you can take away just a few things as you move on in your life in college. So first of all, listen to the people who encourage you to step it up. So just a bit of a history lesson. The 30th governor of Kansas was Frank Carlson, and he was from Concordia, and he was a farmer, and he was approached by a group of Concordia business people asking him to run, and he said, I'm a farmer, but then said yes, as long as it didn't interfere with farming. He went on to serve in the U.S. House of Representatives, then he came back as Kansas governor, and then he went back to D.C. to be a U.S. senator. So he's the only Kansan who's done all four, serving all four seats. It's really fascinating to know. It's just history right down the road. And then Frank Carlson was with a group of men who went to visit General Eisenhower, and they encouraged him to run for president. And General Eisenhower at that time bet 50 cents that he wouldn't make it to the first round of the Republican ballot to be president. So look at him, then he became president. So that 50-cent check is in Concordia at the Frank Carlson Library if you'd like to go see it. It's still on display. I think that's a fascinating story. But as I tell you that, my point is, what would have happened if any of those folks weren't asked to run? And even me. I was encouraged by Senator Ross Doyen, the longest serving Senate president in Kansas. And I said, Ross, I'm just a mother and a business owner. He said, perfect, I'll be your campaign manager. Knowing that's the kind of people that we want in Topeka representing us. So, yes, they were absolutely qualified. I was qualified as our life experiences that we've gained along the way that puts us there. But my thought to you is, listen to those people who encourage you to do more than you think you can. And that could be your relatives, friends, club members, classmates even. And so final part of this, Frank Carlson said, there are no self-made men, it's your friends who make you who you are. So very smart man, just from up the road. So number 2, networking and listening. The famous talk show host, Larry King, said, I never learned anything while I was talking. And I have this little cartoon clip from the Reader's Digest, Under the Glass of Topeka. So truly, how can you make a decision without hearing all the information that is given to you and while you're talking all the time? And I was also told you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So I'm a sponge in Topeka, gathering all these facts. So if you observe and absorb, that's what I would suggest to you. And then the networking piece. Make friends everywhere you go. And this is what, just collecting friends, your list that you would have, we call that networking in the work world legislative. And through the years, I've gathered a list of magic fix-it people. And these are people who can help me solve problems and make me look smart. And I don't trash the list every year, I just add to it. After 15 years, I've seen a lot of people come and go. But they're smart people who make me look smart again. A lot of them are co-mates, some of them are retired legislators, there's researchers, revisers, lawyers, so I keep these people close to me because they're really clever people in their field of expertise. And you'll find them everywhere you go, even off to college. So just collect good people around you. Mentorship. That's my last topic I want to tell you about that. I would be where I am now if it wasn't for my mentors in Topeka. And they guided me, motivated me, provided emotional support. And I'll be the first to tell you, I was really homesick when I went to the city. You know, I left my family, my businesses, living in the country, because it is different living in the city too. So my mentors helped me develop my special contacts, my magic list of fix-it people, but also how to make legislation happen even when I think I'm failing. So those people who've been there, done that, were really important to me. And now I realize, after serving this long, that I'm a mentor. So now it's my turn to pay it forward, or to pass it along. And I work on issues dealing with civility at the state and civility at the national level. And I think a lot of times people forget that it's compromise and compassion for each other, which really gets good, motivated people to work together. So after all, we're all Kansans, right? My first Speaker of the House, so that's a leader of the House, 125 members. They're elected every 2 years, by the way. In the Senate, we're elected every 4 years. 40 of us, and then 125 House members. But my first speaker had to develop a list of rules, and we called them Melbourne's rules. And he had 10 of them. But in order to finish the last 8, we had to know the first 2. So I'm going to share with you what the first 2 were, and you can understand why they're important. Number 1 is I cannot be intimidated. Number 2 is I choose not to be insulted. So they go together. They're at the top of his list for a reason. So if you tell yourself you cannot be intimidated, then you won't be. It's a state of mind. And then if you can choose not to be insulted, and just remember, that's someone's opinion, but it's not your truth. So master those 2, then you have the rest of the 8 they're kind of with me, but I didn't bring those with me. I wanted you to know those first 2 that have guided me and has kept me strong with what I do. Last piece of fun advice I want to give to you. Always act confident, even when you're not. The first time I carried a bill in the House, I was so nervous, but I had prepared so well that I knew all the facts, and I had my voice under control, and I carried the bill just perfect, but what they couldn't see was my knees shaking so bad behind the podium. So I've always told myself that podium isn't glass. I acted confident, I knew what I was talking about, and my bill passed with no problem. But so just pretend that podium isn't glass and you'll be fine. But so the last part of that is know your stuff and act confident, even when you aren't. You know, that fake it, take it stuff. So final thought. Another mentor once told me, he whispered to me on the Senate or on the House floor, sit up straight, don't chew on your pencil because you never know you're going to be on TV. And I've never forgotten that. So it's my lesson to always be on, and promote yourself in a positive manner. And probably I was slouching and chewing on my pen. So I just want to congratulate you. Today's a great day. Celebrate it with your friends and families, and always remember to stay in touch with your senator, because and I'm here in Kansas as long as you want me. So thank you for allowing me to speak, and I'm just thrilled to death to do this for you. So thank you.
you may notice that students are decorated in honor cords. Gold honor cords mark students that have achieved a 3.5 GPA for 1 year of high school. Would those students with gold honor cords stand as your name is mentioned? Please hold your applause until all names are announced. Janessa Allen, Trinity Blunder, Colton Bradford, Rachel Bradshaw, Spencer Davidson, Aislinn Eller, Courtney Forte, Kirsten Heimer, Emma Heiser, Braden Jackson, Caitlin Cooter, Maddie Lang, Trenton Meckel, Abby Myers, Adam Reed, Brendan Shanks, Peyton Smith, Zach Travis, Daniel Watson, and Contessa Weishoffel. Congratulations. White cords are presented to members of the National Honor Society. NHS members, please stand when you are announced. Keon Backus, Spencer Davidson, Aislinn Eller, Courtney Forte, Emma Heiser, Braden Jackson, Maddie Lang, Trenton Meckel, Abby Myers, Brendan Shanks, Peyton Smith, and Zach Travis. Congratulations. The red honor cords denote magna cum laude students who have achieved a cumulative GPA of 3.5 to 3.75. New students are Janessa Allen, Colton Bradford, Emma Heiser, Abby Myers, Adam Reed, and Zach Travis. The blue honor cords recognize summa cum laude students who have achieved a cumulative GPA of 3.76 to 4.0. Trinity Blunder, Rachel Bradshaw, Spencer Davidson, Aislinn Eller, Courtney Forte, Braden Jackson, Caitlin Cooter, Maddie Lang, Trenton Meckel, Brendan Shanks, Peyton Smith, and Daniel Watson. Medallions mark the salutatorian and valedictorians of this year's class. This year's salutatorian is Rachel Bradshaw. The valedictorian is the top academic honor of the class. These students are all tied for top honors in their class. This year's valedictorians are Spencer Davidson, Trenton Meckel, Brendan Shanks, and Daniel Watson. The following students have completed the academic requirements set forth by USD 239 Board of Education and the Kansas Department of Education. Therefore, are recommended for diplomas signifying graduation of Minneapolis High School. Caitlin Sue Cooter.
Joe Allen. Keon Richard Backus. Training May Lundgren. Devin Wayne Bushland. Colton Clyde Bradford. Rachel Elizabeth Bradshaw. Kennedy Zakaya Constable. Spencer Joe Davidson. Tiffany Marie Disney. Emily May Donovan. Aislinn Rose Eller. Ty Allen Flavor. Courtney Erica Forte. Conrad Christian Here. Kirsten Nicole Heimer. Cody Lane Hill. Emma Marie Kieser. Braden Scott Jackson. Jamie Marcus Hicks Jr. Madison Creed Lang. Jalen Renee Lumberg. Henry Martinez Jr. Trenton Richard Meppel. Abigail Jean Myers. John Dean Nelson. Ada Marcel Schur. Brendan Matthew Shanks. Isaac Lee Shipley. Peyton Mackenzie Smith. Ian Bradley Snyder. Zachary Mason Travis. Brody Lane Vance. Daniel Reed Watson. Contessa Ruth Marie Garnett. Nolan Daniel White. Alex Michael Worley.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce the graduates of Minneapolis High School class of 2021. The receiving line will be on the west side of the school. Congratulations, graduates.